I'm here in Bali High, and yes, I've finally spotted one. The pub bus. Yes, look at that. Who's that? Who's that? Anyway, I used to work in lap dance bars in the UK in the 2000s. Luckily, no, I wasn't on stage. I was a DJ, and I used to work with a lot of Thai dancers, Thai lady dancers there. A lot of things that were constant about them. Number one, they all came over with Western husbands and suddenly left them. Number two, they'd all have plastic surgery. And number three, they'd all become lap dancers. And they were all quite attractive, young-looking, very, very hard-working, diligent. And they all had another thing in common, absolutely all of them. They all used to make a ton of money, and then at the end of the night, they all used to go down the casino and spend all their salary. Everything they earned, they lost every night in the casino, without exception. Now, one day, I was asked to go to the casino with them, and I realised I was about 40 at the time. I'd never been to a casino. I've got this sort of romantic idea of casinos being like James Bond, white tuxedo, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, place your bets please, and everybody's very, very, beautiful evening gowns from the ladies. And I'll tell you, my bubble was burst when I went in, because I found them to be quite a sad place, really. It was full of young Chinese guys that were basically playing roulette, and some of them were playing more than one table at the same time. It was an incredible sight and quite depressing, really. And yes, my first encounter of casinos was not positive. And since I've been coming here to Thailand, 1996 was my first year, I've been told that they're coming, like the railroad. The casinos are coming. And I was talking to a guy who was selling lands and selling condos about 5 years ago, and he was absolutely certain, completely 100%, that if you bought a house on this plot of land that he was selling, if you built a house, it would be right by a casino, because that was where they'd already decided where the casino was going to go. Well, 5 years later, and we're nowhere near getting casinos in Thailand. Or are we? I just realised I forgot my hat. Oh, hold on. Oh, and sunglasses. We're going to do a video about this in a few weeks' time. Thank you very much. How much is the hat? Tarai Kap? Oh, 150 baht. Oh, I might come back next week. But if you look at the state of play with gambling at the moment, you'd think, well, this government is one that doesn't really like anything fun. It doesn't like alcohol, doesn't like entertainment. But recently, there have been moves within Parliament to look at the possibility of bringing in gambling to Thailand. Traditionally, Thailand has been very anti-gambling. Let's give you a bit of a history lesson. Gambling has been illegal here in Thailand since 1935. Well, kind of almost illegal. Of course, there is the twice monthly lottery, which is drawn every number 1 and about in the middle of the month, number 15. 38 million tickets are sold for the lottery every time it's drawn. But that's kind of the only gambling that's allowed, apart from a little bit on horse racing in Bangkok. And I have to say, I think if anyone who knows about Thai culture, there is a very, very big underground illegal gambling scene, and it's been estimated that it rakes in billions and billions of Thai baht every year. And the government started to think, maybe we could get a slice of that pie. Have you ever been watching a Premier League football game and looked at the perimeter advertising, and you'll see some squiggly worms in the writing? It's actually Thai, and they're usually advertising a betting company, because online gambling is really, really massive here in Thailand. There aren't figures out for it, but it's really, really big. And as well as that, there are lots of underground gambling that's going on. And does anybody remember a few years ago, I think it was about 2 years before the pandemic, when there was a bridge club which was raided here in Pattaya, and all the old dodderers. By the way, if there's anybody from the Pattaya Bridge Club, you may well be young and sprightly, but it looked to me like you were old and doddery, who were paying bridge, that were arrested for gambling, even though bridge is not really gambling, and that they were arrested for actually possessing 120 playing cards. The Ministry for Digital Economy, Tourism and Society, I swear to God it really does exist, has been looking into this and come up with a few interesting points. First of all, Thailand is one of the very few Southeast Asian countries that doesn't allow gambling. Traditionally, of course, Thailand, a Buddhist country, and gambling is seen within Buddhist society as a mortal sin. But looking at other countries around the borders of Thailand, for example, Cambodia, Myanmar, they allow gambling, and so many people have been going there and gambling away in the casinos. A few interesting points. Korea and Cambodia only allow only allow foreigners into the casinos, and then Japan and Singapore charge an admission fee which is quite high to get into the casinos, which means that local poor people can't get in. But the casinos there are open, and a 60-person committee has been set up by the government to take a look at the possibility of bringing casinos here to Thailand. So the big question that everyone's asking, and I've been asking, as I said, for the last 25 years I've been coming, is where is this casino going to be? Well, it's always traditionally been thought that there will be a big casino in Bangkok, but the 60-person committee that I said that has been looking at this has come up with the location of Mae Sot province. Now, why Mae Sot, you may ask? Well, have you ever heard of it? It is a province right by the border with Burma or Myanmar, and it's suggested that we're losing that Thailand is losing a lot of locals to go over the border to gamble in the big casinos in that country, and so putting it there would be a very good idea. Plus, it's a very impoverished province with a very bad economy, and possibly the injection of a casino would be a good idea. Many people have talked for years about Phuket having a casino, and of course Pattaya, and as I've said before, a lot of real estate agents have dined out on the fact that they are absolutely being told that there is going to be a casino here in Pattaya. Not so, and in my opinion, if you want my opinion, it's not going to be here in Pattaya. If it was, it has been talked about here, Bali High. You may have wondered why we're here in Bali High. Well, first of all, to see the Le Pub bus, and secondly, because this place has always been talked about as a possible area for a casino. And after the devastating problems with the pandemic, there is obviously a lot of land going around here, and there's always talk of this area being developed. In fact, I made a video just about Bali High. There's been a lot of developments here, but unfortunately many of them have gone wrong, and I think it might be a little bit cursed. But if you can see over to my left and you're right there, what remains of an original plan to build a marina here and possible landing site for cruise ships. And it's always been talked about that the waters here is quite deep out there, and it could take cruise ships. So the possibility of cruises coming in here, tourists walking down Walking Street would be fantastic, and building a casino here would work. It's only ever been talked though. There's never actually been any law that has been constructed and any permanent buildings made to go forward with this plan of a casino here. So it's all up in the air. I can't believe this. Look at this. It's another Le Pub bus. Le Pub buses are clearly like buses. You wait for one and then two come all at once. So, what about gambling here in Pattaya? A lot of people have asked me what I think about the idea of casinos coming to Pattaya. And I'll say this, not that impressed with the idea really. Casinos are very, very good at traditionally being able to hold people together inside that building. There's a reason why people like Celine Dion and Adele do live shows in Vegas. It's to keep people there. They give away free food and free drink, and as somebody who's got a small business, it's really, really difficult to compete with free. It would be quite nice if we could have one or two maybe slot machines in the bar. A lot of my friends who have got bars in Australia and in the UK say that they're very, very profitable. They call them pokies, I believe, in Australia. So that would be nice, but there are no plans for that at the moment. So a big casino coming to places like Bali High or Walking Street, whatever, wouldn't really be something that I'd like. What do you think? I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know in the comments down below if you think it's a good idea or not. But until then, Mr. Egg on the Le Pub bus. I will see you next week. Don't forget, stick around if you like videos about Pattaya and the nightlife and lots of talking points about travel here in Southeast Asia, because there's other videos coming up. Well, there's one just coming up right now. So from me, Mr. Egg, on the Le Pub bus. Oh, there I am. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. ผมเป็นเจ้าของเลอพับyeah คุณขับแท็กซี่นี่ทุกวันไหมทุกวันครับผมโทรเบอร์โทรศัพท์คุณได้ไหมได้ครับผมโทรเบอร์โทรศัพท์ได้ไหมแป๊บเดียว I usually ask young 18-year-old go-go bar girls for my phone number, but I'm having the number of the Le Pub bus driver. ชื่ออะไรครับผมชื่อโตโต้ครับToto! Oh, I love your song Africa. They're gonna go with Africa. Okay, Toto. ขอบคุณมากครับ Thank you. Drive safely. The pub bus. ขับดีๆขับดีๆ He stalled it. He stalled it. He's getting his license next week.